Scrappy peeps, Suzanna here today for ThermOWeb, and I'm sharing with you this layout. It is sort of a summary page looking back over the year 2020 that I want to conclude my 2020 album with. So first off, I am creating the back page of what ends up being a multi-fold page, and I am using some of the Glitter Dust Ultra Fine Glitter Spray. So I've shook up the can and I've sprayed, let go, sprayed, let go, let it dry, and then I am doing a second coat for just a little bit of extra coverage. I've let that dry. It doesn't take long for that to dry at all. And now I want to use some Glitz glitter gel, and I've used some pixie spray on the back. You want to let it dry for 2 minutes. I do that in the garbage can, which is why I'm doing it off camera. This is actually going to be the right hand side of my page, but I'm doing it on the left because that's just where I work better space wise. And so I have used the pixie spray, as I said before, to adhere the stencil. I love the pixie spray because it means my stencils don't slide, especially when I'm working on a 12 by 12 page. And then I have the Stencil Pal, which I keep wanting to call the Stencil Buddy. So if I do, I apologize. It's a Stencil Pal Buddy, and I'm using that to apply the black glitz glitter gel through. I would normally let this dry, but I'm just doing a very thin coating of overlap over the top. And so I'm just making sure that I get this through the whole stencil. These stencil pals are perfect when you're working with these 6x6 or larger stencils because it really does get the whole stencil. And then I just have that small little gap at the bottom, and I'm going to close off that gap with just that lightly adhered stuff there. So I am impatient, and I am not going to let this dry. I've gone downstairs to wash off my stencil. You do need to make sure that not long after you have worked with the Glitz Glitter Gel that you do clean off your goodies. So I've gone downstairs long enough so some time to dry, but that's why you didn't see me lay that down flat, or I would have gotten a black mess on my work surface. And I am going to create the top page. So you can see here I have a nice long fold. I've torn the edge, and that is going to be the top surface of what ends up being an opening out of the layout. This layout is titled Looking Back. So as I said, it's a reflection of the year 2020. So to play on that, I am creating a rear view mirror. This is a digital cut file that I created on my own. That is peel and stick toner that I've cut with my digital cutting machine, and I am using some Decofoil silver, just plain old silver. It is the perfect reflective surface. Like literally you can see as I'm pulling this out, I can see my own reflection. There, did you see me? It's literally like looking in a rear view mirror. It's kind of cool. And now I'm going to use some of my Ultra Bond here to adhere that to the bits and pieces of this together. I do have a fine tip metal applicator on there. You do need a pin in it to keep it sealed, and there is not a pin that comes with it, but I absolutely love this metal tip with the liquid adhesive when I'm working on fine detail things like this. I mean, you can see it's really, really fine. Um, and when you're working on that reflective surface, while it does dry clear, it does kind of leave a smear on the reflective surface. So this is perfect in that I don't have any smears from the glue. I do get fingerprint smears, and so I'm just going to use a photo cloth, or you could use a glass cleaning cloth to just lightly wipe that off, making sure that I don't have any dust or other things that will smear into that. So that's the sponge that I'm using. It's a special memory keeping one from forever ago from my stash. So now for these larger elements, I am going to just use my Gina K permanent adhesive dot runner. I love it. I have refills for it. You can buy refills from ThermOWeb, obviously, and it is a good permanent adhesive. I have gone back over my albums. I've been designing with ThermOWeb for, I want to say this is coming up on my third or fourth year now, and I have not found things slide in my album. So absolutely perfect. I love that. Um, So just going to finish constructing my rear view mirror there, and that provides the perfect play on the reflection that I am doing here to finish this off. So I have this photo here of myself, and I'm going to create another fold. So we have a right fold here and then a left fold on the main page. Underneath this photo, so I'm using some of the Gina K Terrific tape. The 1/2 inch was too much, and so this is, I'm not sure what this is, but that's the great thing about this tape is it comes in a lot of sizes. I have an 1/8, I have a 1/2 inch, and I think this is 3/8 inch. And this 4x6 card from Elle Studio is perfect behind it for just the summary of, it says pause and reflect, and then it says the best things, the best part, the toughest part, and what I want to remember most. So those are going to be my 1 or 2 sentence um, just sort of summary bullet points. And then underneath this flap, which I'm building now again with the tape, I am going to put photos of the best parts. Nobody needs to do the toughest part. But then on the left-hand page of that fold out, so I'll open it in a second, you'll see. So on that left-hand page, I'm going to type out my thoughts and then put that there. So it will be a much more expansive and interactive layout once I'm completely finished with it. But for the purposes of ThermOWeb and what I wanted to show you today, that is what's going to be underneath there and not completed. Otherwise, this video would have been extensively long. So now I want to put the title on there, and I have used 2 different fonts, again, using my silhouette. And I want to use some more. This is a different silver foil, so this has a little bit of a, let's call it a pattern in it. And what I love about it is that when you look at it in the right light, it actually reflects your rainbow back. So you've got a rainbow reflected in this, and then yourself reflected in the rear view mirror, which just a play on some symbolism to that. So I accidentally stuck the extra down on my sticky mat, and of course it pulled it up, so I had to get rid of the parts that weren't going to leave color when I reuse the bits that I'm not using. Remember, when you are using a hot foil, a hot applicator, hot laminator, that you want to put the pattern or colored side out to you, and the silver, plain silver side, so the non-colored side of whatever you're using, down on the black surface. I am using peel and stick toner, so it has a sticky back to it that will go directly on the rear view mirror, but I have this pink that I want to put on top because it's a backing, a letter that's being backed. And I'm using some of the sticky sheets here. They are perfect for die cuts to get them adhered. You literally just rub your die cut, and you can use the protective backing to that on top, and then rub it kind of like you would with a different brand of adhesive, but I'm just going to tack it down. It picks up the sticky dot and then puts it on top, which is another great way of getting some adhesive for die cuts and fine elements like this. So a little tip to you is, if you want to position your letters, just take that negative, use some of the ThermOWeb sticky tape, the purple tape, and you can temporarily hold that down, and it creates like a stencil for your letters because you've already got the perfect alignment. The silhouette did that for you, right, in Design Studio. And then you just put your adhesive, and I could have put those through the sticky back tape as well, but I have a system. I've been doing this for a long time, and I know exactly where to get the adhesive, and this works perfectly for me. And you'll find a system that works perfectly for you. You could use the sticky dots more frequently if you wanted, but I know where my dot and roller is, and it's easy to go. So again, I'm using that to line this up, except that I will tell you, when I pull it away, I realize that it's a little too low and I want some better spacing to that. So that, my friends, is my ThermOWeb look back, and Elle Studio really, on 2020. I want to add a little bit more embellishment to it. It's a little bit simple. It will be a little bit more complex once I have the additional photos and we'll just call it verbiage, thoughts on the inside, but I wanted a little bit more detail on the outside here. And so I am going to use some Elle Studio goodies, just very simple to add just a touch more to this. So I have a label and that will wrap up actually what I'm doing with ThermOWeb goodies. But if you want to see the rest of this process, hang in there. There really isn't much to it. I've got that little label. I thought that I would use that as like a pull tab to kind of draw your attention to opening it, but it doesn't close all the way. And so you really don't need that. I thought that maybe by putting one of the wood veneer stars that it would weight it down a little bit, but I don't like it. Particularly as far as alignment of these stars go. So I want that big star to kind of be an open here kind of thing. And it's a bigger element that goes with that bigger photo and draws your eye to that. Um, and then I've got a star by back. And again, I like the way that just sort of the simpleness and the organic feel of the wood sort of tames down some of that reflectiveness that I want on that play on words there. So I'm going to position them exactly where I have them, and it's simple embellishment because really I like the shimmer of the ThermOWeb product and just want to leave that as it is. Unfortunately, it was really hard to get good photos of the glitter spray that's on the inside. You can kind of get the idea of it in the close-ups coming up, and so you'll see how that adds to the layout there. If you have any questions about any of the product that I've used or what I've done, please don't hesitate to leave it in the box down below. Enjoy the close-ups. Thanks for stopping in today. I hope 2020 wasn't too bad of a year for you, and I look forward to seeing you again in 2021. Come back again soon. Take care.